Elle, c'est Jenna Ortega. Et elle, c'est Melissa Barrera. Vous les connaissez pour ça, ou pour ça, mais surtout pour ça. Elles sont de retour dans Scream 6. Bref, les nouvelles reines de l'horreur qui nous donnent tout ce qu'il faut pour incarner une parfaite Scream Queen.
I would say, like, one badass fight with the villain.
Yeah. I mean, survive, scream. You're really good at it.
Thank you. I don't know. I feel like I've done it too much now to where it's just kind of, I can do it whenever and you learn, okay, this kind of scream hurts my throat, this kind of scream doesn't. I feel like the trick though is just, it's got to come from the gut. It's got to be very guttural and visceral. And you kind of learn that the more that you push from your diaphragm, it kind of rings a little bit more. I don't know. It's just, you know, you feel it when you feel it. But drink a lot of water, I guess.
It's an art. Not everyone can scream like a queen. Both Nev and Jamie Lee Curtis are, you know, ultimate scream queens.
The films that their performances, I feel like lay the foundation to how to do it right.
What I learned the most from them, honestly, was just how to be like a class act on set. I think they are just the best human beings and they're so nice and kind and generous and professionals. And I just remember shooting that like final sequence of the 5th movie in the house and Courtney on the ground for hours because she was like hurt and like, you know, laying there. And I feel like other actors would be like, oh, like I need a break or, you know, something. And she was just in it to win it and like on the hard floor covered in blood and like having fun. And I was like, that's why people love to work with her. Doing like chase scenes or like being a little kid that acting can get. Because you know when you're a little kid and you're playing with your mom and dad or like with your cousins or whatever and you're like, oh, and you're fighting and you're chasing and you're screaming and it's very much that. Because when you're a kid, you're not like acting serious and like you're crying or like you're having a fight with your significant other. It's not the kind of acting that you do. It's this kind of acting. So to me, it's like reverting back to being a little kid, having that much fun doing it.
Also horror, there's a lot of awkward pauses where you're reacting to something for 30 seconds while all the other action goes on. And it's so awful to do because you just are standing there
like
with the
soap operas.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And chase scenes are like the one time where you don't have to do that.
Right.
Which is great too. I feel like when you're doing a chase scene, because you're full of adrenaline and because you're moving like that, something new happens every time. And you discover new little pockets of, oh, when you react like that, it's really good. Or, you know, maybe there's a moment where I could play with Ghostface here. I feel like those are always the most engaging scenes for the audience. And then also when you're performing as well, just because you truly are reacting out of fight or flight. And sure, there's a couple of punches and hits that you have to do here and there to, you know, whatever the stunt team coordinated. But it's a part of the fun of trying to figure out, well, how you're going to approach it differently this take, or what's going to throw Ghostface off, or what's going to throw your castmate off. I feel like it's very spontaneous and just exciting. I feel like the Scream franchise, they're kind of weird films to step into just because you're screaming, crying for your life, then 2 minutes later you're making out with someone, and 40 seconds later you're laughing.
Yeah, so, you're on a mission.
Yeah.
Like every scene is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, you're not going to win an award for a horror movie as an actor. And I feel like, honestly, this type of acting is the hardest that there is because you have to find a way to truthfully go from being heartbroken because someone just died to laughing and making fun of the self-awareness of the movie to moving on and going on a mission to figure out who the killer is. And, you know, like all in like a span of a minute. And doing it in a way that feels truthful is hard.
Yeah.
Like we would talk about that all the time. We were like, what are we doing right now?
We laugh at the absurdity of the scenarios that we're
Yeah.
Konbini!